Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Today we are going to start exercise 2.2 in which we are going to find the cube root. First question is find the cube root of minus 1, 8, minus 27 and 64. First of all, we are going to do the first part in which because the question is you have to find the cube root, that's why we have to suppose that x is equal to cube root of minus 1. So we can write x is equal to minus 1 raised power 1 by 3 because 1 by 3 is showing the cube root. So for the solution, we have to take the cube on both sides, so we can remove this cube root. So by taking cube on both sides, we have got x cube is equal to minus 1. We have to bring minus 1 on the left side. We have got x cube plus 1. We can use the cube formula a cube plus b cube is equal to a plus b. Next bracket a square minus ab plus b square. By using this formula, we have got x plus 1, x square minus x plus 1 equals 0. We have got two factors, we have to take them equal to 0 one by one. We have got x minus 1, and in the next factor we can't apply any factorization method, so we can use the quadratic formula. By using the quadratic formula, we have got x equal to 1 plus minus square root minus 3 over 2. So we have got two answers there, 1 plus square root minus 3 over 2 and x equal to minus 1 minus square root minus 3 over 2. As we know that omega is equal to minus 1 plus square root minus 3 over 2, and omega square is equal to minus 1 minus square root minus 3 over 2. But in this answer we don't have the minus start, that's why we minus omega, and the other will be minus omega square. So your answer is minus 1 minus omega and minus omega square, and if we have minus start, then it will be omega and omega square, right? So these are our answers, and these are the cube roots of minus 1. And now next part in which we have to find the cube root of 8. So we have to suppose that x is the cube root of 8. By taking cube on both sides, we have got two factors minus 2 and x square plus 2x plus 4. Then we can take them equal 0. We have got x is 2, and the next bracket we have to choose the quadratic formula. And by using the quadratic formula, and we have got 2 common in the at the end, and the remaining values are minus 1 plus minus square root minus 3 over 2. So it will become 2 omega and 2 omega square, because 2 is common, the remaining value which is left in the bracket is omega. So it will be with the positive sign omega and the negative sign will be omega square. So our answer will be 2 omega and 2 omega square. Now third part in which we have to find the cube root of minus 27. Similarly, we have to take that x is the cube root of minus 27, then we have to take cube on both sides. We have got x cube is equal to minus 27, bring on the left side, use the cube formula, and we have got x plus 3 and x square minus 3x plus 9. We have take them equal to 0 one by one. So x is 3, and the next bracket we can use the quadratic formula. By using the quadratic formula, at the end we have to take 3 common. The remaining values are 1 plus minus square root minus 3 over 2. Again the start we don't have the minus, then it will be minus omega and minus omega square. So 3 is common, that's why it will be written as minus 3 omega and minus 3 omega square. So our required cube roots are minus 3 omega and minus 3 omega square. Now the last fourth part in which we have to go find the cube root of 64. So we have to take the x equal cube root of 64. We have to take the cube on both sides. Then we can use the cube formula. And we have got two factors x minus 4 and x square plus 4x plus 16. Take them equal 0. And first is x equal 4 and the next is we can use the quadratic formula. By using the quadratic formula, and the end we have to take a 4 common. And remaining values we have minus in the start, that's why we have omega and omega square. Plus value is called omega and minus value is called in the middle we have plus, it is omega and the other is omega square. So it will come 4 omega and 4 omega square. So our required answer is 4 omega and 4 omega square. Now next question. For solution of next question, we have used some formulas. Omega cube is equal to 1. 1 plus omega square 0. If you put the values of these omega and omega square, you can solve by addition, we will get 0. And omega plus omega square minus 1, change the sign of minus 1. Then 1 plus omega minus omega square. By changing the sides, we have got all these formulas. So first part is 1 minus omega square. We can take minus common. We have got omega and omega plus omega square. Its value is minus 1. Then it will become 1 plus 1 whole power 7. It will be 127. Similarly, the next part we can take 3 common, remaining values will be equal to -1, and by adding we have got 4 as well 5, it will be 1024, 1024. Next part we can take 4 common and the remaining value -1, and we can multiply it by subtraction. We have got 5 cube, that is 125. And now part number 4, it is also similar to previous question. The start we can take 2 common and 1 plus omega is left. 1 plus omega is minus omega square. So it will become minus 2 omega square. It will become minus 4 omega square. In the next bracket we can take 3 common start. So it will be 3 1 plus omega square minus 3 omega, it will be equal to minus omega, and by multiplication we have got 3 omega. By adding we have got 3 omega. 3 omega will become minus 6 omega. Multiplication will be done and we have got 24 omega square, omega cube. Omega cube is equal to 1, so it will be 24. Now next part of 5. You know that in omega we have a 2 in the denominator, so we have to multiply and divide by 2 on in both the brackets. Then 2 will be outside and the other value will be omega, and the next bracket the value will be omega square. By power is 6, so if we multiply 2 for 6 times we will get 64 and omega 6. Similarly in the second bracket we have got 64 omega 64. We can make the factors of omega 6. It will become omega cube square and omega cube power. Omega cube is 1. By putting the value of omega cube, we have got 64 plus 64. That will become 128. In the next part, values are simple. We have it will be equal to omega and the other will omega square. So we can make the factors 3 3 is 9. So it will become omega cube whole power 6. It will 1, 1 plus 1 is 2. In the next part 7, we can make the factors of 37 in such a way, parts in such a way that the first part or the second part of one part should be divisible by 3. So 36 plus 1 and 36 plus 2. So 3, 12 plus 36 and omega cube is 1. Similarly, in the next bracket, we have omega square separately and the other is 1. So it will become 1 plus omega plus omega square minus 5, omega plus omega square minus 1. So it will become minus 6. In the second, in the part number 8, exponents are negative, it will go in denominator. It will become 1 by omega cube plus 1 by omega 17. We can make the factors that divisible by 5, divisible by 3. So omega 15, omega 15 and 2. Then we can change them into omega cube. It will be 3 to the power 4. So by putting the values of omega cube, we have got 1 over omega and 1 plus omega square. We have to take the LCM. It will be omega multiplied by omega square. Omega cancel and omega square is left. In the second fraction omega square cancel, omega is left. So we have got omega square plus omega. It will be equal to minus 1. Omega cube is 1. So our answer is minus 1. Okay.